Hey everybody, welcome back to NOYZ BOYZ
Boys!
4.
Nice
boys. So, Ted, there's a lot of people on the internet who really don't know how to express themselves the way they want to. They want to get a girl, but they're kind of weak, not really all that good looking, maybe a little fat. I mean, it varies.
I think you're starting to target me, Alex.
It varies, but basically they're just lower on the food chain than others in school. And
No, I don't know what you mean by this.
what I mean by this is people like this guy right here, whose name's completely blocked out from the image, so I'll just call him Marty. Marty is wants to meet up with this chick. He texts with a nice opening, "Hey gorgeous, how are you?" No response, okay. So what is this? A couple days later, text again, "Hey, how's it going?" Just trying again, understandable. A few hours after that, says, "Heller." Didn't say, I guess not hello. I guess he's getting a little...
Heller, that seems kind of like an aggressive form of hello. I don't like where this is going.
And then 1.5 hours after that, "Okay, so obviously you're too fucking good to talk to me, aren't you?" A shitload of exclamation points. "Sorry, I don't like your stuck-up, snotty attitude. You're a chopped trick." Whatever that means.
No, okay. You know, who was in the wrong? Who could say who was in the wrong here? Who could say? I can't choose a side. You know, I don't know the full story, Alex. There's got to be another example of it. This has to be a one-off.
Yeah, so let's go with this guy who's also anonymous, who I'll just call Bobbert. I'll call him Bobbert. So Bobbert calls this girl Blue Eyes, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't know her name. Says, "Hello, Blue Eyes." Texts her...
White Dragon?
Yeah, Blue Eye. He's really attracted to the Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! So he's texting his dragon friend, and he's like, "Did you sleep well, Blue Eyes? Hey, Blue Eyes, where are you?" Shitload of emoji faces. These are all about 10 to 20 minutes apart, by the way. "Please answer me. Hello, Blue Eyes. Hi, Blue Eyes. I hope that you're looking good, and sorry if I bothered you." Followed by, "You are so selfish. I hate you."
Okay, so I mean, you know, he was just complimenting her eyes. He obviously doesn't know her name. I don't know how he got her phone number, but you know, he's just, you know.
I think it's a dating app. That's probably how it works.
I mean, even so, I mean, you know, Blue Eyes. That's a, you know, it's a strong Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's iconic. You know, I'm sure a woman would love to be called Blue Eyes several times over the course of a day without ever responding and the other person not just leaving them alone.
And there's also...
But again, that's only two examples, Alex. Come on.
There's also people like Nicholas Schrock on YouTube. Probably shouldn't say his name. We'll just call him Nick. So Nick over here... Hey, blame YouTube for making fucking people put their names in there. So Mr. Nick over here says the comments like, "Your irises are abnormally large, the byproduct of which is your being objectively more attractive. I made this statement as a matter of fact to avoid sounding like a creep. I have, in all likelihood, failed." Oh no, there's more, don't worry. Then, well, this other guy we'll just call Mr. E says, Nick, that prognosis is indeed correct. Our descriptive complimenting friend, beyond all that, I feel completely the same, thus giving me the answer from experience. To which this other guy, who we refer to only as Chad, says, "Nah, mate, throw in a few miladies and you'll have all the girls all over you when you break their attractiveness down to a semi-scientific language."
I don't want to sound like a creep, but I probably failed.
Whoopsie doodles.
Oh, hey, you know, at least he's honest. You know, that's good in a person. You want someone who's strong and honest.
Or this other guy who I'll call Theodore. Lol, I can say you're going to fuck up boards this year for your action, and if you wanted action, only you could have asked me, since you know my feeling towards you, and I'm ready to do anything for you, and things would have been between us only. If people even would have come to know about us, they won't have made a big deal, since everyone knows about us. Lol, if I'm saying all of this, that doesn't mean I'm desperate. I'm not. I'm just ready to do anything for you. That's it, so don't judge me.
Okay, so that sounds like, you know that game where it's like take your phone and then it has like the predictive text, like predictive words, you just tap the middle one a bunch? I'm pretty sure that's what that entire message was made out of, because I could not understand a single fucking word.
Basically, that guy was jealous that this chick that he liked, probably was friends with, was dating someone else other than him. You know, basically he was jelly. Or this nice guy right here, who I completely agree with in every way. I mean, after all, I shave my head, I have to, apparently. I consider myself a very open-minded and liberal guy. I myself am white, the dominant race in America. But because of my progressive nature, I've dated women of all racial backgrounds. Here's what I've noticed. White women, narcissistic, self-important, try too hard to be men. Need I say more? Black women...
Please say more.
Black women, slutty and trashy and just unattractive, usually uneducated, and have a big head if they are educated.
And have a bit...
There's more. Latin women, very loyal but too loud, way too into religion and their families. And this one sums it up perfectly fine, because I have a thing to say about this. Asian women, perfect, just perfect, smiley face. Loyal, kind, know how to treat a man, educated, classy, the whole package. Just my 2 cents. I think you and me would make a great match. Let me know what you think, smiley face.
Okay, important to say. Did those smiley faces have the little carrot nose?
No, they didn't have the nose. They're the genuine...
Okay, then it was 100% serious.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Or this other nice guy here, who
how many?
Well, I'm almost done. Don't worry, I only have like 2 more. This guy, a girl was getting walked home by her.
Dominant race in America.
So this girl was getting walked home by her boyfriend. Gets a text from an old friend. You honestly could have asked me to take you home. It's my duty as a pledge and me just being a gentleman to take care of a woman, especially a female as cute as you.
A female is cute. Is he an alien?
I love when people say female in a sentence. Like, make yourself as weird as possible. Anyway, I can't do this anymore today. I have to just say, I fucking hate these people. I hate nice guys so much, man. They are the biggest...
Nice guys?
Yeah, nice guys. That's what they're called. They're the biggest fucking losers I know. Now look, they're probably calling me a Chad, because that's apparently what they call people. But no. You're just
Aleks,
fucking
you
weird.
are not a Chad.
I know, I'm a fucking loser. But apparently... I'm a loser who got fired from fucking Walmart. But apparently me disagreeing with them makes me an asshole who gets all the chicks. Hey, if they want to think I get all the chicks, let them think that. Fucking... I've gone well, 2 years, 23 later, 20 years of my life dealing with these fucking losers. Because I guess I just naturally attract these kinds of people. Specifically...
Yeah, that's how we became friends. We had 1 semester of gym class in freshman year of high school. Like, I scoped the room, I'm like, that person's a skinny white nerd. I'm a fat guy. I gotta make friends with him for the duo-like things.
Hey, you like Paper Mario? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, alright.
Gym class for me was like, this is the class in which you make friends.
It's make or break.
It's make or break. And I made it, alright? I made it out of those fucking mines. How dare they make me do push-ups?
Yeah, and kids, if you ever need help learning how to make friends, here's this. He asked me, hey, you like Paper Mario? I say, yeah, it's pretty fun. Now we're the best friends ever and we run a podcast. That's all it took.
That's true.
Fucking...
It's all about Paper Mario. That's what it all comes boiling down to.
Okay, so nice guys is what they call them, are just awkward, kind of introverted, I think is the word, kind of just nerds who don't really have a lot of experience with women. They're not really cool, they're not popular. They're just you're the generic low-class nerd, a loser pretty much. And a lot of the times they kind of sit in their own brain and fester a little bit. They get these grand delusions about how relationships work based off of, like, a movie or a cartoon or something. They believe, like, if I am nice to this chick, she'll want to date me immediately and shit, you know?
See,
Like,
this is a frame of mind. I can understand how someone could fall into it, because it's like, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy that it's like, oh, you know, no girls like me. Oh, I mean, you know, like, I'm going out and I'm doing all this stuff, when in reality he's, like, sitting there, like, browsing 4chan, doing nothing.
pretty
You know, all
much.
these fucking women, like, it's like, well, obviously it's not my fault. It must be their fault. All these other fucking, I'm sorry, what did he call them? What did he call them in that first one? He had a name for her that wasn't just
Blue
bitch.
eyes.
Yeah, these fucking blue eyes.
Oh, or these hellers.
Yeah, these hellers.
These chopped
fucking
tricks.
These fucking red-eye black dragons. They just, you know, it's their fault that I can't get a girlfriend. Not the fact that I'm just I'm browsing R9K, I'm sweaty, I haven't cut my hair in forever.
Not the fact that I'm just not charismatic. You don't even need to be good looking. You just have to not be weird. Like, all you have to do...
I don't have any interests. I can't hold a conversation. Obviously, it's these people's fault.
Literally, all you need is some charisma to get some chicks. There are plenty of good or bad-looking people who have relationships. How successful or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, the relationship. They have them. Because that's all these people want is a girlfriend. Because they feel like they need one to be validated or some weird shit. Which is fucking wrong. That's like, still a bad habit to think like that.
That's like a thing that a lot of people have, though. A lot of people, that at least that I know, like in real life, in meat space, as I call it, people who feel like they have to get validated by other people. Like, for me, like, okay, let's say that, let's use school for an example. I didn't study for my first chemistry test because it was all review. It wasn't all review. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, instead of being all sad and mopey about it, I'm just like, oh, well, I guess I need to do better. You know, I should, like, just with the podcast, like, oh, man, listen to the first episode of Revival 2 days ago. I wanted to die because we settled with, like, the terrible Skype audio we had to back up because it, like, got corrupted and we had to use the backup audio. And, like, when I look at that, I'm like, instead of thinking, like, oh, man, you know, this podcast is so bad, why do I even bother? No, this podcast is bad. What do I have to do to make it better? What do I have to do to get up to, like, be as good production-wise as I do, as, like, all these other things. Like, even right now, I'm using a really nice microphone, but I'm still learning the settings on it to, like, you know, get a hard limiter, get the compression perfect so that it's not jumping up and down and all over the place.
You didn't just blame the entire fucking world. All these girls don't want nice guys. They just want a Chad to treat them like shit.
Yeah, I have a Patreon, you know? These fucking hellers. See, I had something, I've had that happen before, where, so back in high school, there's like 2 girls that I've dated. One of them was Shaquila. Well, oh God, I probably should. Her name was Shaquila. I'm not going to say her last name. And then, like, we went on one date, and then we were both super, super awkward and shy. And then, like, 4 years later, she had, like, a baby and never ever mentioned the father. So that's a weird situation.
Ooh. See, now, if you were a nice guy, you would have complained about how she had a kid with someone else for, like, 10 minutes on her Facebook.
And then, like, some other girl named Emily that, like, her brother was probably a nice guy. Because I was, like, vaguely friends with him because I felt bad for him because no one liked him. And then, like, I would go over to Alex's house. We would hang out. And then my phone would be like, ba-doop, ba-doop. And it would be him saying, like, hey, man, what's up? Want to hang out? 5 or 6 times a day. And I would tell him, no, I am in, like, Plainfield. I am 80 miles from my town. I told you this. He's like, oh. 6 hours later, hey, you want to hang out? And, like, it became a joke where, like, every time it would ring, we would both just laugh.
We're a couple of Chads, apparently, dude. Making fun of all these nice, chivalrous young folk.
My name is dangerously close. Tad, Chad, coincidence?
Yeah, we're just rolling in that fucking pussy. We got our Spy Kids bad boy shades on.
Synchronize them at the same time. Bad boys.
Again, you're gonna hear this in high school thing, 'cause that's pretty much where a lot of this stuff happens. That's when kids are really, like, trying to get into relationships and then feeling bad when they don't. It's where they get the nice guy mentality. And usually that's where, like I mentioned earlier, will sit in their head and fester when they become adults and become just really awkward losers that never actually tried, and they just blame the whole fucking world. Then they become argumentative atheists to try to make themselves feel better and valid at their own existence, that they're smarter than everyone else. But when I was in high school, I had a group of friends, and I would hang out with lunch and just hang out and stuff, nothing special. But then the next year, I was put in a different lunch period, and I had none of my friends there. I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. Rather than just ask to be moved to a different lunch period, I decided this is a great idea. Now I can take a nap, or I can do my homework here, so I don't have to do it at home. I can just fucking play Dota or something. 'Cause I think Dota was out, because Dota came out in like 2012. At the end of like 2011. I was still in high school then.
Yeah, I remember the whole...
By the way...
There's a really, really good meme that was sent, like, winking smiley face with beta keys.
Yeah. Fucking... By the way, Dota's been out so long we were in fucking high school, dude. Like, holy shit. Anyway, so I was just... Whatever I was doing. And so I was just sitting there doing my homework, and I guess when you sit alone and do your homework, people in high school think you must be the smartest, most well-versed person on the planet. Because time after... What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I only had to study for one class in high school, and that was biology, because it was so fucking easy.
Well, I wasn't studying, Ted. I was just doing my homework so I had to do it at home.
Yeah, same thing, where I just, like... Because for that class, I had to just do a bunch of worksheets, and I'm like, oh, well, I better stay at, like, school, because if I go home, I'm just going to play Paper Mario and not do it.
But,
There was this is one of my favorite memories of how like I was you for a moment, except like I gave up the ghost right away. I didn't own a copy of Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64. Ever in my life. I've never owned it. It's my favorite game series. I think the only one that's ever been mine was like the DS one, and so we rented it, like the N64 one from Family Video. And I had to go back in 2 days. So I was like, I was at the Ice King's Palace. And I'm like, oh man, I want to finish this. Oh, I can't go to school, Mom. I'm sick. And she was like, she didn't want to deal with it. She was like, whatever. As soon as she said that, immediately hopped out of bed, went to play it. Like, I didn't even wait for her to leave the house. I just immediately got up like, hell yeah, it worked. And then she's just like, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to deal with this.
I don't think we mentioned this in the childhood stories one, but I called in sick for school a lot. Just asked my 5 dead aunts.
Oh, that's right. You kept calling in saying your aunts were dying.
The best part is I argue with my mother a lot, and we don't get along all the time. But she's an awful person. When I was ever an awful person, we agreed because we were both being awful, and she would just let me take off all the time. So I appreciate that. My favorite thing my mother has ever done is just one day we were driving in the car. She asked, "Hey, you guys want to take off school tomorrow?" And we're like, "Why?" Like, I don't know. You guys haven't taken off school in a while. Best parent ever. How to be the favorite parent in one easy sentence.
For sure.
Fuck yeah.
I want to do an episode about terrible parent stories because your mom has done some real bad shit.
You know what? It's NOYZ, boys. We'll get to it after the nice guys thing.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Yeah, why not?
Okay, so
it's NOYZ, boys. Anything goes.
Anyway, let me tell the story because we got interrupted. I don't want to lead people off like one of my Men in Black stream, apparently, which I just never finished.
There's more than a few people that want that to happen, so we'll do a dream series again at some point.
Because I had a couple
another
more dreams.
Binda Man?
No, but I had a dream with the devil rings as well as the time just the other night where I had to make a bunch of deals with an autistic mafia boss.
What was his name?
I don't remember his name, but he was really autistic and weird, and had like these.
His name was Don Megablocks.
He had these weird goals, and he would throw temper tantrums, but with respect, honor. Like he was just so bipolar and weird. It was really funny. But hey, save that for the next episode. Okay, so sitting there doing my homework, apparently I look like the smartest motherfucker because constantly people would come up to me and ask me for relationship advice. Now,
why you?
Because I get, me, the guy who just loves everyone in the world and is a total, charismatic dude. Like, I have a silver tongue to get out of problems. But
He's
that's,
an extrovert for sure.
yeah, like I'm pretty introverted here. Like I myself am just kind of a loser who just sits around and just plays video games. Like, I don't fucking know anything. I'm just doing my homework so I can go be lazy with my friends. So people would always, like slide in over on the table. It's like, hey, buddy, so I have this problem with this girl, right? Like, I'm trying to ask her out, but blah blah blah, me, and I'm trying to do this math equation. I look up from my fucking book, and I don't know if I made the face, but inside of my heart, I just said, man, I really wish someone would just come into the school and shoot it up right now. Boy, I wish a Columbine would come by and just kill me. So, at first I would give terrible advice, because I didn't fucking know anything about relationships. I would just, like, the first thing I ever said was when I had no idea what to tell this weird kid.
The first advice was like, hey, compliment her on her eyes.
No,
Make sure to do it every 6 hours.
It was just like, I'm having this relationship problem with this girl, dude, and I'm like, did you, I don't know if it's gonna work out or anything, like, did you hit it? And he's like, yeah, like, why don't you quit it? And he's like, that's a great idea. He like fucking like snaps his fingers, like, thanks, man. And he like runs off. I'm like, man, I probably just fucked something up. It was the worst advice I've ever given someone. I still feel bad about it. I don't know who got dumped that day, but it was my fault. I'm sorry.
Holy shit.
It was the worst thing I've ever done. It's one of the worst things I've ever done.
What a beautiful life you've lived.
Yeah, seriously. So, I guess that kid must have told everyone or something, because, later, more people would come and ask me for advice. But as time went on, I kind of got good at it. Like, I would, sit down and, listen to both sides of the story. I would be like, interesting. Well, maybe she should do this. And, have you tried listening to her needs for once? I became, this fucking therapist at lunch. All I wanted to do was do my homework, by the way. So I became this relationship mediator. And it ended up paying off, too, because a lot of times where my fucking parents would fight all the goddamn time, and I would have to, physically get in the middle and then, mediate this shit out. I got good at it, Tad. It was like my new secondary job.
You've acquired a very odd skill set.
It's just because of some dude. Fucking... God. And, half the problems were these nice guy problems, where people would just come up and saying, this girl's, so beautiful, I don't know what to do. Did you try actually talking to her at any point? And I started getting really sarcastic after, the third or so guy, because it's all the same shit in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I grew up, 8 years from these conversations. Fuck, dude. It's yes, but do you even do you even know her fucking name, dude? Are you just being some kind of creep? I would just go on. I just was fed up with these motherfuckers. And I hate them so much. They're all the same. They're all just a bunch of weak losers. And rather than ever get any better, all I do is sit around and fester and blame everyone else for their own problems. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off because I have to fucking deal with it myself. Fucking, I know how you feel. I know what it feels like to be some of those guys who say find the perfect girl and they try to get her and she says no. It does hurt. Yeah. But there's a difference between, you have to get over it. And a lot of people never really do. That's how people turn into fucking, stalkers and shit, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's one of the things of advice that I told someone... I don't remember all their names because they all just become the same person at one point. You can't think of it. You're not the main character of your life story. This isn't your story. You're not a character. None of this shit matters. You're just some dude, and that's just some chick. Stop thinking that because you did X, Y is gonna just immediately happen. And you're gonna live happily ever after. That's not how that works. You can't think only from your own perspective, is basically what I told him, right?
See, in my life story, I'm the wacky side character who everyone loves more than the main character.
In my fucking life story, I'm the goddamn character who's off in the back who's just doing random actions while all this crazy shit happens and he just goes back to his normal fucking day. because I just don't
Apparently,
care.
you're some kind of relationship guru
Yeah,
who people come to for
I'm-
help, and then
I'm
you
the
tell
love
them to,
guru.
like, leave me alone. I'm trying to do my math equations. I don't care.
Just bitch, please. I would help, but I didn't want to. Like outside, I would say, like, yes, all you have to do is this, and tell her how you feel about it. Inside, I would say, Jesus fucking Christ, just get the fuck away from me. I don't care. I don't know who you are. I don't care about any of this. I got homework to do, man. I got shit to do. I gotta go home. I gotta go listen about how my fucking parents physically beat the shit out of each other. I got way more on my plate than your fucking useless nice guy ass right now, man.
And you see me, I had to go read Homestuck. So which one of us had a harder time?
Oh god. Fuck Ted.
So,
I just don't like him.
Speaking of spousal abuse, coming off of Nice Guys, coming off of that, let's talk about some of the, just off the handle, some of the terrible things our parents have done that we found really amusing.
Dude, how
So okay, you were visiting, I think it was in like Christmas in like 2012. I think you came back from Idaho and you were visiting like the first year that you moved out there. And we went, it was you, me, and my mom, and we went to a Chinese restaurant. And it was an all-you-can-eat buffet. And this is where we both heard this story about my dad. So my dad is named Jim Becker, and he's like me if like I just did like a lot of cocaine and was a huge basically if I was you levels of asshole.
Oh my god.
But also like snorting coke. And so like I think the last time I saw him I was like 12. I have no idea if he's alive or dead anymore. Last letter I got was from Florida County Jail. So
story of my life.
I've got some stories.
I got a great story. So you go first. You go first, though. I got the best story.
Yeah. So we were at the Chinese restaurant, and I think we were talking about your mom or something. And we got out of the topic of my dad, and my mom mentioned that my dad took a raft down the Mississippi to get to Florida. He bought a $300 yacht. It was basically a raft with like a hobble on top that would protect you from the rain. And he went into this piece of shit and went down like the Fox River into the Illinois, into the Mississippi, and would call my mom from different states to say, hey, what's up? I took this raft to leave you down to Florida.
That's one way to leave your family behind.
I mean, and I think he also took my mom's dog. I don't remember.
See,
my mom
that's the kind of thing
that
would be like the end of like a video game where he would just like sail off into the sunset. It would just say Finn. It'd be drawn on the top of it. Like he had his family, now he's just gone to new adventures, to new heights. He can't be chained down by society.
So yeah, we'll bounce back and forth with the stories. So you can take the next one.
Okay, so I forgot to tell this story before. But I mentioned my father's like an alcoholic and everything. Basically, look, it sums it up my entire life right there. Not a great dad. When my mother and father got divorced when I was really young, I think like 7, real young, we would still actually follow the law, and we would visit him on like the weekends and shit. Typical thing. This is probably the worst thing I've ever done in my life. The thing that I, to this day, feel bad about. I know it wasn't necessarily my fault. People tell me that, but deep down, I feel really bad. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you remember? You just don't. I told you, you just don't remember it. Okay, so we were out in the playground once. We were like 7. My sister was like 6. We were playing tag with our dad. He had his new wife. I forget her name. I'm sorry. It sounds rude, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. I was really young. She was just off sitting on the bench just watching us because she was kind of like hefty. She couldn't really, run and play tag with us. So we're playing tag.
Kinda hefty.
Yeah, she was kind of fat. I'm saying it politely, dude. So we're running around playing tag with our dad, and we tag our dad, and then me and Ava run, and we jump off this fucking thing, off the playground thing, and we land, and we just kind of keep running. Our dad jumps off, and I hear a pop sound followed by intense screaming.
Oh, jeez.
I hear him just go, like, ah, fuck! And we look like, what the hell? And he broke both of his ankles on impact.
Jeez.
And like, Chad,
Both?
they were bent. Okay, that was an image when you were 7 to see your dad's ankles not be normal like that. He screamed so fucking loud that like, these people who were just like walking down the street ran over to see if he was okay, and so they bring him to the hospital. They do all this shit. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? Because Tad, I was the first one to jump off that thing. They followed me. It's my fault.
He snapped both ankles.
Yeah,
it's like that South Park episode where Kyle gets like really big knees.
Yeah,
he gets a knee replacement surgery.
Yeah, he gets the testicles in his knees, so when he lands, they both explode.
Literally that.
But so yeah, they broke, just snapped both of them. He didn't land on one ankle. Both ankles simultaneously off of his fucking just gone. So he goes to the hospital, blank, because I don't remember now. We revisit him the next week. I'm still shaken up by what I have done. We visit him. My father is now in a wheelchair. Now, there is nothing that you can do to make me feel as bad as seeing my fucking dad in a wheelchair because of me. Because of jumping off of that fucking playground. I could have just, like, gone down the slide or climbed down, but nope, I jumped, so they jumped after me because it was fun. Haha. Oh, there go my ankles. So
I mean, it wasn't your fault, but at the same time, that's pretty goddamn funny.
So for the next like entirety of the year, I had to visit my dad while he's wheelchair bound. Like, I had to see him crawl up the fucking stairs, because I was too young to, like, help. There was no elevator or nothing in his apartment, so he had to, like, with one arm, drag his body up the stairs, as well as bring his wheelchair up with him. Kudos to him, that's fucking impressive. But also,
Holy
man,
shit.
is that fucking scary looking. He looked like a Silent Hill monster.
He looked like a fucking zombie walking up the stairs.
I felt so bad. Like, I couldn't do anything. I was so young. I was just, like, I remember, like, going to the pool, but he couldn't swim with us because he was in a wheelchair. Like,
you broke his ankles.
Yes, I felt so bad. Like, I didn't want to swim because, like, I just hung out with my dad because I felt bad. Like, what have I done? I broke my dad's ankles.
Okay, so thinking of personal injury. The best thing my dad ever did for us was get hit by a lead pipe. So what he was doing is that he got caught breaking into someone's house to steal their computer. And so as he was carrying the computer running out of their house, the guy picked up a lead pipe and cracked him on the back of the head. He went to the hospital and sued him because they couldn't prove he was trying to steal the computer, despite him having it in his hands and running out of the house.
American
so my dad
justice.
sued him. My dad sued him, won a bunch of money, and he got like a metal plate in his head, and he has to wear like sunglasses now. Or I don't know, maybe he doesn't anymore. I would have no way of knowing. So he got a big settlement, and so because he has 2 sons, boom, we got some of that money. And so my mom's like, okay, we got all this money. Let's go on a cruise, because this is going to be like the only time we're going to be able to afford it. And so my dad getting hit, he robbed someone, got hit for it, and it came out better on the end. Well, I don't know about better, but he got a bunch of money, and we went on a cruise to fucking Mexico.
He got paid to be a burglar.
It's pretty great. It's like that story of that dude who like fell through the skylight and sued the house. Because they couldn't prove that he was a burglar. He was just on their roof.
It's fucking bullshit.
But that cruise is pretty fun. There was like a fried chicken buffet, and the line went across the entire goddamn boat. So what me and Timmy would do, my little brother, is that there was this place that would sell these little personal pizzas 24/7, and we would go there at like any time of the day, anytime you felt like it, and we would just get some Zaza.
Was it free?
Yeah, it was free.
So you so on the way out of the cruise, did you just stuff a bunch of them in like your bag and just say, "Yep, there you, thanks for the pizzas."
After 2 weeks, no, dude, we were fucking done. We were done with that pizza. On that same trip, someone tried to sell my older brother weed in Jamaica, and some lady got escorted off the boat because she tried hiding a bunch of weed in her hair, and it fell out when she was getting on. There was a bunch of, I remember my little brother threw a fit when we were in Mexico. We were in Cozumel, Mexico, and he threw a fit because he wanted a McChicken. And so we went to goddamn McDonald's and bought a McPolo and got a bunch of pesos.
Gimme, chicken tendies.
We also took a bottle. I got a bottle of Jamaican Pepsi and filled it full of like seawater. And then like we stored it in our cabinet, and that ate through the plastic.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted Jamaican water, and it turned black and green, and it ate through the plastic of the Pepsi bottle. That trip was kind of fun, but thanks, Dad, for getting hit with a lead pipe.
I'm sorry, Dad, for breaking your ankles.
All right, you got another one to roll out?
Oh, fuck, I had one, but I forgot it because I was talking about my dad.
I can tell another one while you try to remember that one.
Sure, go.
So, roll it back a few more years when I'm like 6 or 8. Myself and my little brother go to Florida to visit him. And we were visiting there for like a week. And this was also the dirtiest I've ever been because I didn't shower that entire time.
Ugh.
When I got home, like I went on the plane this dirty. And when I showered, there was like dirt coming off of me in clumps.
Ugh.
Like the water was turning. It was pretty great. I guess I didn't go a full 2 weeks without cleaning myself. Because our dad said, "Hey guys, you want to go swimming?" We're like, "Oh, cool. Huh. He doesn't have a pool in his backyard." He's like, "Don't worry. The neighbors said we could use their pool." So we go down four built like houses over. My dad hops the fence, unlocks the back fence, and opens it for us. That was like red flag number 2. And then we get there and like the water's all cloudy. He's like, "Nah, it's perfectly fine. It's just a little, they just left on vacation." And so we jump in the pool. And it's like super, super chlorinated because they left on vacation and put that in their pool to keep it clean until they came back. My dad did not get permission from these people. He just broke into their house and let us swim in their pool.
Well, broke into their backyard to swim in the pool.
Yeah, he just hopped the fence and we went swimming in their fucking like pool for 7 hours.
Ugh.
Also, there's a bat in the water filter there.
Oh, this dead?
It was just a dead bat.
Oh, it's fucked up.
It's not that fucked up.
It's gross. Okay, fine. It's fucking gross.
There you go.
So, my mom likes to talk a lot, likes to open her fat mouth a lot, because... Okay. You can see how my opinion spiraled the minute I remembered. My fucking... mother is what you would call on the internet an argumentative atheist. She's an intellectual type. If my mother had a fedora, you damn well know she'd be fucking tipping that shit all over the place. My mother is also, much like them, very racist. She calls Indian people, specifically people from India, not Native Americans, she calls Indians little turds.
Little turds.
She told my friend that aka this idiot, and now he remembered that more than I did.
I remembered a lot of stuff your mom did that was pretty,
Oh, you mean like we were just hanging out? She's like, "Hey, Ted, you want to smoke some weed?"
I remember that.
My mother...
Your mom was just like, "Hey, kid, you want to smoke some weed?" And I'm like, "I don't want to smoke weed with my friend's mom. That's weird." My mom would do that. We would go on hikes, and she would like trail way, way behind and fucking light up a doob. She did this all the fucking time. She'd get real mad when it was like, go up further on the trail while I'm back here smoking. Because I thought it was just a cigarette. I thought she was smoking some like trucker cigarettes. Those what are they? Pall Malls. They're like fucking 80 cents a pack, and they smell like shit.
Well, all cigarettes.
I thought it was something like
shit.
those. Not all cigarettes. Hashtag not all.
Hashtag not all cigarettes.
My mom would smoke weed when we were like hiking. She would. I mentioned this briefly in the other one, I think, where it was like I'd be playing video games and like I would hear my mom crying and I would just turn the video games up louder.
See, what I would do is I would hear my family fighting, like slamming doors and like hitting people, like hitting each other.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, my family was very not good, so I would just turn the volume up. I
gotta play Jason and the Argonauts.
I gotta play fucking no, it's the Rise of the Argonauts. Fucking,
I'm sorry.
my family saw like they weren't always violent. They were just very they would just argue all the time. They started getting violent in the last like year. It was real bad. Oh.
I think I saw some of like the backlash of that when we stole money from your sister to buy Monster Hunter.
Well, to be fair, we were completely at fault there. We were bad people.
Like, we knew that from the start. We're like, yeah, she won't need that money.
This is a bad idea. Yeah, I posted in this thread villains who are totally wrong in every way. Picture of me. Yeah, I just slowly stole. Okay, no, Ted. Shh, I have another story. Okay.
Don't shush me, motherfucker.
I have a good one, though, because it's the exact same type of story, but it's the day I totally got away with it.
Again, one of many. Is there any day where you did not get away with it?
Probably. So, well, the day I broke my dad's ankles, I didn't get in trouble, but I felt bad. I definitely felt the guilt of that one for the rest of my life. But,
I had a similar story happen. The first time I ever Tim, don't listen to this. The first time I ever babysat my nephew, I took him to the park, and like we were playing on the thing. I turn around to grab his diaper bag to put it on like the table, and I just hear him fall down the stairs, like the plastic stairs at the playground.
Well, I mean, even if you were looking at him, he was gonna fall down. You couldn't stop that.
I could have stopped him before he fell down like 8 stairs.
Okay. So, once upon a time, a game for the Game Boy Advance came out called The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. And I was like, damn, I want that. Hey, my sister's saving a lot of money in that big jar. I'm sure she won't notice $30 going missing from that. So I stole $30 from my sister, and she never noticed. I told her. She was like, "Where'd you get that money?" I'm like, "I had a secret stash saved up just like you." Like, she's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally."
The balls on you to bring the stash up.
Totally got away with it. Fucking max luck right there, baby.
You're rocking like a 10 luck build, Alex.
Pretty much. I got that silver tongue, baby. I get the day I got away with it. Like when I failed, like I had a big F on my report card in school, and a fucking.
Oh, my aunt died.
Well, to be fair, my mother is the only reason I got away with that, because the kid can't call in and say he's sick. The fucking mom has to do it and say like, yeah, my kid doesn't feel like going to school. I mean, he's sick.
The worst part about the last few years that I was living at home is that my little brother was still going to school, and he would like his sleep schedule. Like he would go to bed at like 5 a.m. Like he would stay up until like that Buzz Lightyear show came on like Disney Channel. I knew it because I recognized like the intro song. I assumed, I don't know, he might not have been asleep, might have just been playing really fucking loudly. But like he would stay up until 5 a.m. every night and then have to wake up at 7 or 6:30 to go to school. And he would just scream and throw it. Oh, God, there were constant fights every fucking morning. Oh, I hated it. That was like one of the many reasons that I moved out. The other one being my mom leaving to Wisconsin and then coming back 3 weeks later. But I'm pretty sure I already mentioned that. You remember where I had to like learn how to drive and find an apartment in 2 weeks and do all that shit. Let's see. Are there any other particular moments I could think of?
I'm pretty good on childhood stories, so I'll probably remember one in like a day or two.
Because there was a bunch that we remembered like after we did the first childhood stories episode.
Well, I mean, the one that I specifically wanted to say was me breaking my dad's ankles. I'm glad I finally got that. Okay, I have another one actually about my dad. That's another sad story. Come on in, Jasper. Stupid fucking mutt. That's what happens when you have dogs. Okay, so here's the story about my father. So back when my father was actually, I think, still in the family. I don't fully remember because, again, I was real little. We had this nice red-looking car. My father, drinking and driving, crashed it and was put into the hospital. You hear the phrase, "my dad's in the hospital," a lot, by the way. So we go to visit him, and he's just like destroyed. Now, outside he looks fine, but I'm pretty sure like every bone in his body was like broken or something. Because that car was fucked. The fact that he's alive is still pretty impressive. But I specifically remember, this is sad but amusing, that my father was in one of those patient gowns and couldn't go to the bathroom by himself. So I remember when we visited him, he started screaming in pain and violently started shitting himself.
What the fuck?
Violently, because he kept going like screaming like ah like in pain as he was shitting in one of those like toilet bins they put under the beds. It's another great image of your father when you're a child. I'm just imagining him like gripping it and just screaming and thrashing. Jesus Christ! He had like doctors that like hold him while he was shitting.
What the fuck was happening to him?
I don't know, but all I know it was incredibly violent. Well, he was giving birth to a shit weasel.
That's right. I think that was when you came over. We watched that terrible Stephen King movie, The Dreamcatcher. Yep, he also wrote it. All right, so Stephen King has this hard-on for this time he got hit by a van, and like I guess he just jerks off thinking about it all the fucking time because he never shuts up about it. He was out jogging and a van like murked his ass. It broke his hip and it was real painful. And so when he was high as fuck on morphine and other pain meds, he wrote this book called The Dreamcatcher, which is about this mentally retarded child and his friends and how they stop like these aliens from coming to Earth. And they're like, it's like a fungus that will infect people, and they shit out like a little weasel thing that'll eat them. And there was a movie made out of it. Literally, just like the story was terrible, like it wasn't that great at all. But they made a movie out of it because it was, it had Stephen King's name on it, and he was like, I was high as fuck when I made this. I don't care. Here, I think I rented it from the like fucking library, so the DVD kept skipping too.
It was shit. We couldn't watch. We had to watch clips of it on YouTube. You need to describe to me how shit the story was.
Didn't we have a similar problem with a DVD with what was it? Press Start or whatever.
No.
Do you remember that?
Start. I pirated. That worked fine. I totally stole that shitty indie movie. No, it worked. I pirated that shit clean, son.
Because we did a lot of dumb shit in Plainfield when you lived there. Or not,
we were young and reckless.
When you lived around here. Like, I remember one of the first times, like the first time we hung out, I think we played Smash Bros. For like 4 hours and ate pizza or something.
That's about right.
And then the second time we hung out, we played Smash Bros. For 5 hours and then ate some pizza or something. And like at some point, I still don't know why we did this. We sat in like the living room, which was like a super nice living room, and there was like you had like your laptop that exploded. I'm pretty sure you told that story.
Yes, but I'll tell it again just in case.
And my magnetic powers, and like we just read together some fucking Animal Crossing edgy fan fiction called The Terrible Secret of Animal Crossing.
I remember. I thought we watched someone read it.
I think the first episode was narrated, and then we had to read all the rest.
The rest of it, yeah. I don't remember any of that story, so it must not have been very good. I
remember parts of it. And I think that was because, I think I read rubyquest around that time. rubyquest was real good. I liked that a lot. If you remember that. It was like a choose your own adventure. That's what it was like. It was like it had that format, and it was about like a white rabbit named Ruby.
No, not the slightest. I didn't care.
God damn it, Alex.
Well, like much like Homestuck, it's just all out of my memory. I was way more, much like I told those nice guys, I was way busy with other things.
I don't even remember Homestuck. God, I wish that was me. But yeah, we did. Yeah, we did a whole bunch of dumb shit. I'll retell the
computer story just in case, because I don't remember if we covered it last time. But I'm
pretty sure we did, but
did we?
Yeah, I don't think we covered my magnetic powers.
So yeah, let's discuss that.
When you lived in Plainfield, we would come it would be like I would come over and hang out for a 4
Please let me tell it from my perspective. After all, it was my bomb.
Fine.
So I had a really bad laptop. I think I've recalled this mentioned before, but it was really shitty. The fan broke, and the thing was like basically a death trap. And I just downloaded lots of shit on it because I didn't care because I had my regular computer and my laptop. The laptop was for just doing all stupid pirating, downloading all that shit. Because if that blew up and got infected, I got my computer to actually play games on. I'm fine.
That's right. It could barely play YouTube.
Well, no, it could, but only if Tad stayed in the exact right position. So, the thing about Ottawa is that it's the birth of the Radium Girls. That entire town is fucking basically Fallout. It's just this radiated shithole. So Tad has mutant powers. Tad is magnetic. You see, computers work differently when he's around them. My laptop being the perfect example is videos would stutter and be horrible, but if Tad walked his fat ass near the computer, it would start working again. But only if he stayed at like a fucking northeast angle.
It was northeast. If I was northeast at a 45-degree angle of the computer, it would run and buffer perfectly fine.
Yes, and I tested it by not turning the laptop. At first I did that, but then I just started moving him as the video played, and we replayed it. Like I ran countless tasks. I got charts. That boy has a power. It's one of the most useless powers ever, but he's got one. Or
this is my power.
I used to have a lot of graphic problems with Dota 2 fucking back in high school, and the thing would just be horrible. But whenever he was in my room, it worked just fine. You're special, Tad.
You mentioned the Radium Girls. Let me tell that story real quick, because that's a pretty fucking good one.
Sure, I'm gonna let this dog out of this stupid room because he doesn't love me anymore.
Can't wait to edit that out.
Well, you edit my fucking aunt yelling and talking to me about something.
So So my grandma, one of her friends, actually worked at this plant. So what it is it was Radium Dial Corporation or something like that, and it was clocks that they would paint with some glow in the dark stuff, and they would paint the faces on them so you could read the watches in the dark. And so they would hire girls to paint these. They would dip it into this radioactive paint, swirl it around in their lips to get it to a tip, and then paint these faces on the watches and all that. So radium's kind of like super radioactive and deadly. Every single worker there got like hand, brain, face, lip, eye. They got every type of cancer that you could with something. Because they would also paint their bodies for like fun and stuff. Because if you thought it was just normal glow in the dark stuff, you'd be like, oh, this is kind of fun. Look at that. Woo, look at this. But super radioactive. It was horrible. The factory got shut down. And so they had this giant radioactive waste deposit. So what do you do with it? What do you do with it, Alex? What do you do?
You bury it in an unmarked location and forget about it.
No, Alex. That'd be stupid. You bury it in 3 unmarked locations and then forget about it. So they did some river water testing, and the river water was coming back slightly radioactive. And they were wondering, I wonder why that is. And so they had someone come out with like a little Geiger counter and shit, HR Geiger counter, find a bunch of aliens. And they're like, oh, hey, look. Oh, there's a very large deposit of radium in here. And that's leaking. Wait a second. There's 2 more, and we don't know where they are. So they eventually did find them. One of them was by the middle school.
Oh, nice.
By the
Well, that's gonna turn into the fucking X-Men school.
That school actually got flooded and they had to tear it down. Because the rainwater was so bad one year that it like rose 4 feet. Like it was like, I think a foot away from flooding the high school.
Yeah.
Like literally like 12 inches away from like ruining. Yeah.
Is that anytime it rained, I could legitimately pray, ooh, I hope I get off school today.
Because it was like this high school was at the convergence of 2 rivers. So it would just fucking flood.
Real bad
But
idea.
so the 3 places that they were, one of them was by the middle school before it got tore down. One of them was by some park. And then the third one was underneath one of the high school football fields.
Why?
Because they built it on top of there. Because they just put this shit. Because like years and years ago, the river was, it wasn't as eroded as it is now. It wasn't as close to the, to like the trails and shit. And so like, no, that's good. And so like there was all these intense radiation pockets that were just chilling around town that no one knew about for like 60 years. But that's my town. It's pretty cool. Also, when I never had a full year of high school. Never had a full complete year. Because first year, it flooded. You know, the thing got dangerously close to flooding, so they had all the students leave. Second year, it was so cold during winter that the pipes were frozen.
I think I remember that one.
There was tons and tons and tons of snow days. Third year, teachers went on strike because they were going to remove their health insurance. Fourth year, I believe it was school got closed for, I want to say the air conditioning unit was broken during the early months when it was it was ignorant how hot it was. So I never had a complete year of high school. Oh man, I feel like there's a bunch of stories that we're forgetting.
Well, that's just how it works. We're gonna remember them. We'll save them for NOYZ BOYZ 5. Don't worry.
So anyway, before we close it out, I want to give a shout out to all of our wonderful Patreon people. We have that set up at patreon.com/LMTYA.
Just
it's been up for about a month. I think it'll be a month coming up in about 3 weeks. We've got a whole bunch of fun rewards in there. And anyway, I want to give a shout out to Jaron Kiwi, Brady Hammonds, Sean Dunsmore, who we recorded a Steven Universe song for.
I loved it.
And Stephen Finn.
Oh, and also No Two Hands, Logan the Down Under Dingo, Alba, and Elizabeth Gutierrez. Sorry to say that. Gutierrez? Elizabeth.
Gutierrez.
There you go. Yeah, Elizabeth. You get one too.
Anyway, we'll also be putting out a bonus episode. Everyone who pledges at the $2 and up per month level can submit questions for us to ask at an end of the month bonus episode where Alex and I will go through the list of questions and debates or go through them in a definitely organized manner.
Yeah, relatively.
More organized
as organized as NOYZ BOYZ.
Yeah, it'll be great. You can also find us on Twitter at LetMeTellYouPD. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us here on YouTube. Also, check out the Discord. There's also Revival, which is a Dungeons & Dragons podcast, which is tons of fun. I do it. Alex doesn't do it because he's not a fucking nerd.
Hey, I do WoW RP.
Get out of here, Chad.
Bad boy.
Anyway,